This video that I'll be doing this morning is probably one of the most important videos that I will do in the series of Question Everything. And the reason why this video is so important is because I will show you the background that I pull from when I decide on how things are going to happen in future within South Africa and within the world. The information that I draw from my own personal experience, and in this video I have to, for the first time in a long time, bring my father Edmund William Robert Bernardo back into the fray. And the first thing I have to explain to you is his understanding of South African history, things that he discovered. And if you go to the Question Everything series, I've updated all the thumbnails, and if you watch the series, this will all make sense. So this video is a continuation of that series, and this will take us back in history and start giving you a glimpse into the level of knowledge my father had and transferred to me during various stages of my life and my personal involvement, so that you can understand where I pull my knowledge from. And there's a few things that I will show you, evidence, so that you can understand my standing and position with regards to many things in South Africa and why I was able to do what I did in the past. Many of those things I've not yet revealed to you, but will in future, where I've managed for CEOs of Eskom to resign, where I've managed to get ministers fired, me personally, and why I had the knowledge to do so. Obviously, I've been quiet about many of these things for most of my life, but during this time, we find ourselves at a place where silence will no longer serve this country or my family or myself. And I would encourage the many of you that have written to me and told me your stories to continue doing so. Everything will be kept in confidence and nothing will be shared on any public forum unless you ask me to do so. And some of you have come up with very specific things that you want me to share, and I will do so if no one else will be harmed in the process, except for public elected officials. They are fair game. Now I need to start somewhere very simple, and that is that my father was the founder and the first elected president of the Oranje Ontwikkelingskorps. Now if you look at his history and you go and you look back at the Exocet missile project that was headed by Rupert International, you will understand that he made a discovery when he was still very young, and he realized that everything that we think of in politics is fake, that there's other powers and organizations behind all the decisions made, that our parliament is a fake, and that we have no government. And I've actually posted a video that someone sent in to me on my group #ResistanceSA, and what this video has done is saved me some time and effort, because I did not want to actually spend the time at this stage to delve into the Broederbond, or as it's known today, the Afrikanerbond, and actually look into the organization and their role within South Africa. And the reason why I haven't done that is because I look at things from a global perspective. And the Broederbond, or the Afrikanerbond, is just a small pawn within a much bigger global machinery. And I look at a perspective from the top down, because that is how the pyramid runs at this stage, with us right at the bottom. And I believe this pyramid needs to be turned on its head. And the one movement that is doing exactly that is the Organic Humanity Movement, or the OHM, the resistance. And I hope many other movements will join them in this action of turning the pyramid on its head and actually resisting the New World Order ideology which is prevalent all over society, and like I said, I'll do many videos on that still. But to get back to the nanas, the things that all of you have been waiting for, and this is going to be a big reveal, and I want you to look at this information with responsibility. When my father started the Oranje Ontwikkelingskorps, he firmly believed that the only way for us to be saved based on the information he had at the time, and this was in the late 70s, is to have an Afrikaner Volkstaat. Now, this made things exclusive, not inclusive, and this was a big mistake. And I made that clear to my father, and 2 months before he died, he accepted that he was wrong. And many of you won't know that. Many of you that knew him might find that as a shock. And the reason why he knew that it was a mistake is because he didn't know how deep the verraad, the treason and the traitory would be amongst the people, and how people would actually say something with their mouths, but in action they'll be doing different things. And even he believed he had a top 6 raad, Volksraad. Those people were all of them, except for 1 or 2, a huge problem, and are living lives today. Some of them have died already, that is so far removed from the ideology that they said that they had at the time. So I mean, people change, and that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So my father started the Oranje Ontwikkelingskorps. People became members. They actually signed up with member cards. There were different levels of membership, and he was involved in the founding of Oranje, which is a small little town on the edge of the Free State. And Oranje is basically a little town which is supposed to be a white-only town or a boer town, and it's on the borders of the Orange River. It's actually a beautiful area. I visited there once. I actually met with Karel Boshoff Jr., who's running the business, because that's actually what it is. You buy into the business, you become a shareholder or a partner. And my dad was involved in procuring that land for them. He was involved with Karel Boshoff. He was actually the brains behind everything. He didn't want to be in the public domain at the time for many reasons. And I'm not going to try and prop up anything that my father did. I'm going to straight talk. He was not a good family man. He was a mastermind of note. He used to go and lie down in the lounge for hours on his back with a light switched off, and when he got up, he would have an idea. And he used to say the ideas would just come into his head, and it'll be some technical invention. He'll go to the drawing board, draw it out, make models, and then actually manufacture whatever it is that he dreamt of or what he conceived. So he was a very interesting person. And he taught me a lot as a child. A lot. He took me with him to his workshops where he would actually work on a lot of machinery. So I was exposed to that from a very young age. And he never spoke about any of his ideology ever. So politics was never spoken to me, but often in front of me. And as I've mentioned before in my other videos, I was actually taken with to some really high-level meetings as a young boy. And maybe he did this on purpose, because the ones we actually cycled to one of these meetings, he made as if it was a nice outing, and we had a car that we could take but didn't. And it was a long road to cycle. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the meeting was about the Exocet missile project, as I understood later. But let's get back to the Volkstaat. So he had advanced plans. I have all these plans with me, and in my hand I actually hold the flags for this new Afrikaner Volkstaat. You can see here, this is bunch number 10. I have many more in my possession, which is from my dad's estate. So I'm going to break the seal. It's never been broken before. And then I'll show you what the flags actually look like and what they represent. So here you see the flag for this new Volkstaat that would have been formed, and this would have been in the Northern Cape. And after I did my military service, my dad came to fetch me on the parade ground with Lieutenant Dry at the time. I don't know if he's still alive. Hello, Lieutenant Dry. How on earth he managed to get onto the parade ground, I have no idea. He was the only parent that walked in and fetched me right there. I hadn't seen him in many years. And then I was exposed to everything that he was busy with at the time. And he believed it was the only way to get around the Broederbond and the New World Order and many of these people. And he didn't see a way clear at that stage to include any of the, what he called at the time, the different tribes in South Africa into this. But he believed at that time that every tribe or group of whom he's met many leaders would want their independent land and support, etc. In other words, the Boer people would have their own section, and all the other tribes or groups will have their sections. They'll intertrade with each other, but they will have their own leaders and their own culture and their own government. An interesting way of thinking about things, but absolutely impossible. And I will explain to you why that is. And he realized why I was wrong about that specifically. So in this little flag, you will see the castle in Cape Town, the castle of Koeberg. You'll see the Voortrekker Laar at Bloedrivier, and you will see the Voortrekker Monument. And then you'll see the orange, white and blue, but it's vertical. Then on the side, you will see something very disturbing. This black band over here represents all the black tribes of Africa. And you will see it's a part of the flag that actually holds it to the stick, which means it does the work to hold up the rest. So in the symbology, the black people, and I hate to use color because I see people as people, were symbolized as the workforce for the rest. And this is extremely problematic, and I oppose this ideology completely. But for history's sake, I want to show you this, to show you my context and why I am the way that I am. So my father understood the visions of Sine van Rensburg extensively and was planning to make many of those happen himself, including the line all the way from Luderitz, cleaning up the railway line. He did that. He funded it, and he made sure that that line from Luderitz was clean so that supplies would come from Germany and go all the way through to Prieska. And the Luderitz harbour itself was increased in size so that frigates could actually stop there, because that's another thing that Sine van Rensburg saw, that warships could actually stop at Luderitz and offload supplies that would help the Boers to fight a war that most people don't understand properly. And I have with me many photographs, and I want to show you this one. These are original photographs. In this photograph you will see Evie de Klerk, his wife. You'll see Chris Jennis, where they landed at a ceremony that was headed by P.W. Botha. There you'll see another picture. Another picture. Another picture. All of these pictures were marked on the back, very specifically. Here you'll see the helicopters arriving. There you'll see them getting out of the helicopters. You'll see all these pictures are still marked very specifically. These are all original photographs. There's a parade taking place. So my father had very specific, here's Elise Botha. Sorry Rosanne that I had to use this. I actually know Rosanne Botha, P.W. Botha and Elise Botha's daughter. She's a wonderful person. And she told me a lot about her father that a lot of people don't know. Hello Rosanne. There's P.W. signing something that I will describe in another video, proving to you that he's not the monster that a lot of people make him out to be. And I will tell you in detail what actually happened to him and what Evie de Klerk ended up doing. And Evie, I hope you're watching. I'm coming for you. My good friend, Pik Botha. There's your number, my friend. You are marked. And then there were many pictures of the crowds at this event. This was a famous event, many people watching what was happening at the time. People were very eager to get into this event. They were climbing over the fences. There's a mother and a child, and many other people. So all of these photographs were marked specifically at this event, and I will cover this event with you in detail, because the history that you were told in the media is not the real history of this country. And I will expose the true history to you, Broederbond and all. Now, the Broederbond was definitely instrumental in the changes running up to 1994. But as I've told you before, it did not go down the way they say it did. Not at all. All of these things were planned beforehand. The ANC was chosen as an organization to take over this country long before. Nelson Mandela was chosen and had to be protected at Victor Verster. He lived not in a prison. He lived outside of the Victor Verster base, in a house with a jacuzzi, with satellite TV, with guards protecting him from his own people. Well, obviously not his own, because they weren't his friends, from his own organization. And we will get to the bottom of everything. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon, share this video. I'm afraid of nothing at this stage. People, we need the truth to come out so that all of you can know what actually happened in this country. Here is the gilded spade that was used for the groundbreaking of Urania. My father was the mastermind behind Urania. And Karel Boshoff Jr., hello Karel Boshoff Jr., hoe gaan het met jou? He wanted money from me. That's the main thing that he needed, because Urania has gone nowhere because they didn't get funds from my father. He wasn't going to give them funds, because here's the big flag for all of you to see. The first big original flag. There was even a money unit established with a reserve bank called the ORA that would be used as a means of trading when the South African rand would collapse, because it's very important for the New World Order ideology to collapse the South African economic system, something that Cyril is doing a great job of doing for them. And Mr. De Ruyter that has been chosen to go and ruin Eskom, but more on that in another video. Well, I think this should be enough of an appetizer for what is to come. Please subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon. You're going to get blown away when you know what actually went down in this country. Till the next video.